Discover exciting places to visit. Explore your community. Learn about new cultures. Meet fascinating people. Find the exotic. There are hidden treasures wherever you go. Travel, learn, take a day trip in your city, or hike in a rainforest. There's so much to see and share. What are you waiting for? Go on a journey. Welcome to On a Journey. I'm Paul Prado. Make sure to check out each video that goes with our podcast on our YouTube channel, Paul Prado Photography on a Journey. Welcome to On a Journey. I'm Paul Prado, and today is a beautiful spring day, and it finds us here in Angeles Oaks or San Bernardino?
Officially Forest Falls.
Forest Falls, and we are with today Sin Gray Raven, and she is the caretaker or the innkeeper of this beautiful area called Bearpaw Sanctuary. It's nestled here right off the highway, right off Lagonia that turns into
Highway 38.
Highway 38, and it's just right a quick right. And here you are. We've got Anna's hummingbirds and all kinds of wildlife. We saw a bluebelly coming in. We've got a myriad of butterflies flying around. So Sin's going to take us on a journey of Bearpaw Sanctuary. Thanks for having us out.
Paul.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So tell us about these hummers for starters.
Well, our hummingbirds right now are just arriving from their often distant migrations. As you might imagine, it does get snowy in the mountains in the winter.
Here?
Absolutely. We've had up to 4 feet of snow.
Holy
right
Toledo!
Here, a foot is more normal. But the hummingbirds, when it gets cold, just say, sayonara. And they are heading for the valleys. Some actually migrate regularly, long before the snows come. They go as far as Central America, South America.
So what kind
Can you
of
imagine traveling thousands of miles when you're that big?
How many hummers would we see? Or what kinds of hummers would we see here?
We mostly have the Anna's hummingbirds, which are very common all over Southern California.
Okay.
We have breeding black-chinned hummingbirds, which is...
So they're like black,
mostly. There's a little blue stripe if the light hits it just right.
Yeah.
The Annas are the bright red flashing helmets and what they call gorgettes, the throat color.
So there's a word for you, gorgette. When they get excited or alerted, is this what is it, magenta?
They're flashing the girls.
Oh. So it's like a magenta thing that just flares out and it looks so brilliant.
Yes.
Like a rock star costume.
Right, absolutely.
So we've got, is this a black chin here or that's an Anna's?
Probably. The odds are it's an Anna's. So if you see red, it's an Anna's. So you must come back in July because at that point all the hummingbirds that went up to Alaska and Canada and northern USA all migrate south again. They're on their way to Central America or South America.
So here we are, Forest Falls, Inland Empire. It's a short jaunt from Redlands, if you know where Redlands is. And in July, she says all the bunch of feeders will be all along this cabin. And she said there'll be, what, 50, 100, couple hundred?
Yes, we've put little bracelets on them in what they call a bird banding project.
Okay.
And we've easily done in 5 hours 100 hummingbirds. We just run out of energy and bands, and there's still
100 hummingbirds banded, and you still have more hummers. And I mean, I'm not going to have Nancy Pan over here, but as we're standing here chatting and the hummers are up there feeding, there's at least 6 or 7 waiting in the wings, literally, to get their shot at some sugar water or nectar, or whatever you call it.
It's 1 cup of sugar to 4 cups of water. No additives usually.
1 cup of sugar, 4 cups of water.
Some people like a little drop of bird vitamins that you can buy for your parakeet or canaries.
Sweet, a little do-it-yourself at home. So we're going to move on and see what else we could find here at Bearpaw Sanctuary. Here we are, tools of the trade. Tell me about these tools. We got a backpack, we got a little thingy for your apron and binoculars and a stick. Tell me about it.
before I hit the trail, obviously it's important to gear up. Some of it's the same things that you would take hiking. So I've already got my comfortable shoes on.
Yeah.
I've got long pants. A lot of people like to hike in shorts, but you know what? If you're going to go off the trail, you get scratched.
Yeah.
I probably should have long sleeves on to protect me, but we're not going to get too wild today. So
okay.
We'll
save that for a next trip.
This has a little water and, you know, some first aid kits and the things like that I usually wear. Now, tools of the trade, things that someone who is going to go on a nest box check.
So we are going on a nest box check. And what kind of birds are we going to, the eggs, or what birds will go into these boxes?
Little birds.
What kinds are just?
Mostly, we have oak titmice.
Oak titmice.
Adorable. We have mountain chickadees.
Mountain chickadees.
We have house wrens.
Oh, I love the house wren. It's a crazy erratic, that crazy erratic song.
Busy.
Yeah.
And ash-throated flycatchers.
That's a nice, pretty bird.
Western bluebirds.
I love those.
Even some house finches.
Yes.
Yeah. So we don't ever know for sure. We had a white-breasted nuthatch, kind of unusual,
those are
but
cute.
we had them last year.
We saw those up at up in the Bay Area, walking up and down the tree.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to learn all these cool noises too.
Well, the noises certainly help you identify where the birds are. So,
we have our little apron.
Some sort of little apron.
Nice.
And of course,
you can tell it's well worn. We got a little
this one's
duct
old,
tape. Nice.
Totally duct tape.
Check this out.
I might be looking to buy a new one soon, right?
Yeah. No. It looks
it's
fabulous.
Got character.
It's got some serious character.
I actually have my cell phone camera, and I do some documentation.
And we've got cute heart bordered at the bottom here, Nan.
Some of our nest boxes do fall apart, so I carry some handy-dandy glue.
All right.
Okay. Some of our nest boxes, I'm trying to see into them, and so we have mirrors. This is, you buy them at an automotive store.
I was going to say.
Checking out engines.
The mechanics.
Absolutely.
The mechanic of the bird world. We've got
something to write
super
with.
glue. We've got a writing implement.
This is if you have to scrape something out of the nest. And sometimes you do, like maybe a mouse has built a nest in there and you want to evict them.
Yeah.
Right? You know, don't want to do it with your fingers.
No. Not with all that crud in there.
And then binoculars to check things out before we get there.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah.
And because I sometimes just need to keep my hair out of my face.
And I didn't bring mine.
Yeah, sometimes that's a good.
And we have a clipboard here.
Cool
what
bandana.
Is
this is to keep the data. And each of these pages, you can see there's actually quite a few of them. We have about 70 of them.
Just zoom in, if you could zoom in on that, maybe. It's got all kinds of a percentage,
it says
pound
a date.
sign. Okay.
So every time I'm there, I'm going to say, I was here, the date, I was...
Who I am.
Yeah, who I am. I've recorded.
It says a pair of song.
If I see things, I circle those. Nest building, nest with eggs, nest with young, and then notes. So we do have some. I've been working on some of them. We already got started. Some of them, on the other hand.
So here it says here, something bumped bark? Yeah. Dumped bark shred nest.
Yeah, so bark shred nest was probably a chipmunk. And I evicted them. And then here we have a bunch of zeros. Nothing's happening yet.
Okay.
Or maybe it never will. You know, we don't get full occupancy ever. We have this strange device.
It's very unique looking.
It is. I made it out of a painting pole. You might recognize that people use to paint.
Yeah.
But this is actually a painting where you put a roller on it.
Uh-huh.
But I've cut it and shaped it into this hook. And what we're going to do with that is we have had to put our nest boxes up in the trees on hooks. The tradition, and I'll show you some in the back, or even right here in the front, if you can put them on your...
Just for the viewers and the listeners.
Yeah, we're distracted.
We have a Hummer that was 1.5 feet from the camera and Nancy. Just awesome experience.
Yeah, they are very friendly here. And there's a bit of red on the support pole.
Aha, on our monopod.
Tripod, yeah. Monopod one.
Well, it was a tripod, but we took the legs off.
Yeah. So anyway,
So
the bears will come and tear boxes down, and they can climb trees.
Yeah.
So the ones we have hooked to the house are fine, but we can't put a box on a tree because the bears come along and they think they're snack packs.
Wow.
Not good.
Not good. Well, let's head out and take a look at some boxes. So here we are in the cabin, and we've got 3 boxes here: C1.2C, C1.2B, and C1.2A. What's this about?
We put these up primarily for educational purposes, so that when we have special events or visitors that we're trying to teach about our programs, we can show them that nest boxes come in many different styles. The reason that nest boxes are important is that all over the United States we tend to cut down dead trees.
Right.
Well, you wouldn't leave a dead tree next to your home.
No.
We can leave them in a forested natural area, but even there, right now, in the vicinity of any communities, what are we doing? We're cutting them down because of the fire danger.
Right, to make a fire break or whatever.
When we cut down these dead trees that we see as hazards, we're taking away the most important tree in the forest when it comes
to making a home.
To making a home for birds and squirrels and all kinds of things.
So now you know when you see a dead tree, it's a dead tree, so to some it's worthless, but to the wildlife that exists in the area, we have a rattling thing over there.
We have a volunteer who's going to do some painting for us.
Good thing it wasn't a bear. So the birds use these trees for homes. So we have 3 different styles.
And all that matters is that they're big enough at the bottom. Usually the research has found about 4 inches square on the inside, and tall enough so that predators can't reach their arms in and reach down and get the babies. It's better to make them too long, and the birds will actually build it up to the height they like. Then if they're too short, the birds won't use them.
Because they know.
They know.
So here you go. The longer or the taller it is on the inside, you've got raccoons. What else would reach in there, I wonder, to rip out the eggs or the babies if it's squirrels?
Well, we do have snakes go in.
Oh, okay.
We have birds.
Well, in the other forest, you have
like crows and ravens.
You have martins and other things like that would try to get in there.
Lots of things like to eat eggs.
Yeah, we do.
I like to eat eggs. But those are very tiny.
So where are we off to right now?
We will visit some boxes.
Let's go. So here we are at a scrub oak. I was just educated on a tree. I'm not an arborist, a tree person per se. And right above us, we're here on a little slope. And Nancy, if you could, can't say pan, but zoom in on that little tiny structure right there. Cin's going to bring it down with her handy dandy do-it-yourself tree house. The slope here about 6 feet, 7 feet. So Cin's going to bring it down and we're going to take a peek-see.
Up we go. Obviously this is a tricky part and we have to be very careful. Usually we've been watching so that we know. Oh, did you see the bird just pop out?
Right there.
So that means that Mama, and she's a mounted chickadee, Mama was sitting on her nest, which means we've got eggs. So I have to be ultra careful about catching on anything. Now this poor nest box is about 10 years old. It's obviously not even a box. It's a tube, but we call it a nest box, you know. And we've just duct taped some areas where the mice and squirrels have eaten holes. And that seems to work. This thing is hanging just by a couple of little hooks, and then I lower it down where I can see inside, And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little eggs. Can you count them?
7.
Okay. Now, one of the things that you notice is those eggs are very white. That is common in what we call cavity nesters because they don't need to hide their eggs the way open cup nesters do.
So open cup nest is a nest you see on a branch.
Yeah, and so
this
whenever
is a
they
cavity.
leave, right?
So
this
for
is
those
hidden.
listening, a cavity is like a box or a hollow.
Yeah, normally a hole in a tree.
A hole in a tree. So we have cavity nesters, and we have, what did you say, open cup.
Right.
So most people, if you're listening or watching, the nest you see at your house in the planter or other places is a cup, right?
Absolutely
and
right.
This is a cavity. So it's not just something in your mouth, it's a place where a bird lays eggs.
So,
oh, those are
Mom,
so cool.
If she had left without us flushing her away, she probably would have pulled the nest material over the eggs. They will actually cover them with a little blanket. And you notice the material.
Oh my God, it looks so soft and.
It is. I will.
She's the boss. Here she
teeny
comes.
little bit out.
Oh my goodness!
And
Can
what
you get this, Nan?
It's usually very fine little fur. This is
from the
time
dogs.
From the coyotes and the bears
and the bears.
Yeah, they don't. They don't need dogs.
No, they
but
nip
they
it.
could. They
yeah,
could
I've
in,
seen,
in
I've
my
seen
house.
mockingbirds and other birds like go from the
they
cat
will.
and
They'll
they
actually take it right off the
yeah.
animal sometimes when they
I'll
need
give
it.
you back your souvenir.
So,
I don't want to.
Again, because that would be the stuff that she would pull over the eggs
Wow.
to keep them warm. Now it always
So
feel
here's
bad,
your organic comforter for mama's eggs.
Exactly. These birds are breeding very early. It doesn't seem like it today, but it could snow. It could snow and be freezing and miserable, and she will keep those eggs safe.
So those that are listening in the Inland Empire here, we're just right outside of Redlands and Mentone. Here we're talking snow. And here we have nature.
April 30th.
April 30th, 2017. Here we have a mother bird. What kind of, was it a?
Mountain chickadee.
Beautiful little bird. I think I got one little shot of it. She's thinking snow. It was 85 degrees yesterday and she's already thinking ahead because she knows the weather. And here we have a nice, oh my goodness, I don't know if Nancy captured all that, but it is at least, like 2 inches, you think, down there of nice fur and other material, nesting material.
A cup that comes up around it.
Oh my goodness, this is just absolutely fascinating. The hummers are screaming around me or whizzing around. This is just great.
It's full of life here.
It is.
So then we have to,
Again, you can see this handy dandy cup.
Get it in its little slot, and knowing that you have this precious cargo the whole time you're doing it. Like, come on now. There it goes.
So Sin is
Tiny
a
little slot.
steward of nature, and it's volunteer.
Up.
Let's just.
Oops, there we go. You can see we try to trim out a little bit so that we can do this, but we also want to leave the natural protection for when the bird comes and goes. She doesn't want to be visible to predators.
Correct. So at your house you have bushes, and you notice at your feeders, if you put them by a dense bush, the birds are able to zip in and out to go to the feeder, and as soon as a cat or a predator, sharp shin, hawk, whatever, Cooper's hawk, they're into the thick brush where they can't be reached.
Right.
She trims it a little bit so that she can have access to the box.
Mama's coming back.
And Mama's coming back.
See, she is just, see her right above
the
nest there. She's looking at us. She's looking down.
Oh, there she is.
She's going to go right back in there. Because she's like, I left my babies.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So now, who gets this data, and what's this data for?
Well, we are...
I've always wondered.
Right. We are cooperating with the... And in fact, anybody can do this. You could do it in your backyard.
You would be a backyard birder.
We call it citizen science. And if you put up a bird box... Oh, I'm sorry. She's just so cute. She's coming out and looking at us. She's suspicious.
As I should.
She's suspicious.
As she should be. I don't know if you could get her, Nan. She's peeking out.
Try.
Are you still on?
Yeah.
So what were you saying?
All right.
Citizen science?
Citizen science is people like you and me and anybody. You don't have to have a science degree. You have a feeder in your backyard. This is through the Cornell Laboratory of Ornithology in New York. You can find them on the internet.
Yeah.
And you sign up and you could be a feeder watcher. And you just report what you find at your feeders. Or if you put up a nest box, you can be part of the nest box watch program. And then your data goes together with the data of people from all over the country, and you get to contribute to our understanding of changes in the populations, due to urbanization,
Right.
due to possible climate change, due to
Habitat destruction.
as things happen, as farmlands turned into malls and so forth. And what does that mean for the wildlife? And sometimes the changes might be beneficial, sometimes they might be harmful.
Right.
How do we track that? One scientist can't do it. One scientist and his grad students can't do it.
Right.
We need everybody's help, and
So you can help around the United States and around the world. If your data will go everywhere. And the folks over at Cornell that study the birds throughout the United States can see what's going on here in the Inland Empire, in Forest Falls, Big Bear, Lake Arrowhead, Running Springs, Mentone, you name it, Colton. You can go inside,
in the middle of the city.
You can
LA,
get your
New
house
York City.
finches, your hawks, your peregrine falcons that are up on the towers, your everything. Your data is important because it lets scientists know, and it lets people see what's available in different cities. I mean, we've got this, what the heck is that? Is that a scrub jay?
That was a jay.
Or Steller's jay?
Possibly a Steller's jay.
Yeah, and Steller's jay was named after a German scientist, I believe.
Yeah, they're mostly named after somebody.
Yeah. So we got our data recorded.
This is the one. See, it said bottom needs glue.
Okay.
Nest of fur was on the 16th.
Mm-hmm.
The next time we came back, there were 6 eggs on the 22nd. And there's
So within 8 days, she's laid another egg.
7.
Now she's got 7.
That means she's probably done. That last week there were 6. She probably laid one more after the day after. She lays 1 a day.
Wow.
Egg, day, egg,
That'd hurt.
day, egg, day. And she doesn't sit on them until she's done. That way they all hatch at
Evenly.
about the same time.
Wow.
You want all those babies the same age.
Nature's crazy.
Isn't that great?
Nature's crazy.
Yeah. So this is a pretty cool one. And then we have another nest just nearby in that big oak over there that we can also check up on, because last week they were nest building.
Let's do it.
We're wondering if they've gotten to the point of having eggs yet. Now again, this, is this earlier than usual, later than usual? And again, really, all this data will contribute someplace to science and help us understand.
I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome. You said that this is going to be a different tree.
Oh, Mom is going to distract us. Looks like she ate the bug. No, maybe she still has a small one.
And what kind of bird is that?
That is an oak titmouse.
Oak titmouse. So if you're a viewer or a listener, you can look up oak titmouse and you'll see a beautiful, small bird.
Let's do the box check.
Okay.
So sometimes if I have concerns about disturbing them, if it was cold weather or rainy, I would see evidence that she was carrying food in her mouth. I'd know they hatched. I would just take a note and I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
It's very warm today. It's very buggy. She's obviously going to be doing well with this. We do have ants underfoot. Mom, can I look? So the sooner I get in and check her babies, the sooner she can get back to feeding them. And sometimes we can, if you get too much contrast, so these guys just hatched. The fact that they're still eggs, they're hatching today.
Stay tuned next week when we see some brand new chicks at Bearpaw Sanctuary with Sin Gray Raven.